No worries.
Hello and welcome to this special interview. I'm Snehashish Mukherjee, and with me is none other than Mark Robinson, sir. I think most of us who follows women's cricket in India, especially, I think we're still a little heartbroken for that loss in that final in 2017 against England. And this was the person who led that team to that glory. So, sir, welcome to the show. We are still
Thank you very
heartbroken, but
much.
welcome.
You.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir. So the first question is about the England women's squad for the upcoming World Cup. I think it's a very strong squad, led by Nat Sciver-Brunt and the co. So how do you see the squad, preparing for the World Cup?
Well, look, they've had a difficult period. So that's the first challenge. They're going to have to try and get some confidence and get some momentum in the tournament to give them the best chance. They've got a lot of bases covered in the squad in terms of quality and seamers and good spin, etc. But it's just that confidence. And what they don't want is some of those scabs that have been starting to heal after the summer to come off again and start to bleed. And then we know what can happen in sport.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And sir, when the squad came out, I think the first question, I think many were surprised not to see Kate Cross in it. So did you also surprised not to see Kate Cross in the mix? Experienced pacer?
Yeah, look, it's difficult because I've been where Charlotte Edwards is, and she's a relatively youngish coach to international cricket, etc. But she's done an outstanding job so far in the jobs that she's had, and this is her first go with England. And I know when you make selection decisions, it's not always popular, and you've got the information. You're seeing your players on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so you've got all the knowledge. For outside looking in, yeah, maybe it does look like they're possibly a seamer down. And they've made a bit of an assumption that the wickets are going to maybe turn and suit the spinners. But we know it's early season in India in terms of weather-wise. And with my experience of India, you can get anything. You can get some really flat wickets and with quick outfields, and you can get some slower wickets like Chennai, etc. So it will depend on where you play. So, yeah, there is an argument, a definite argument for Kate Cross to be there. She's had a good summer. She's obviously been injured for a while previously, but she's had a good summer with her county, Lancashire. And as you said, she's experienced. What they will be hoping is that Nat Sciver can stay fit. If Nat Sciver actually goes down, they look a little bit vulnerable maybe then on the seam department.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And sir, this is a new era for England women, right? Because new captain Nat Sciver-Brunt is there, as you mentioned, Charlotte Edwards, new coach. Uh, a word on Nat Sciver-Brunt. She was there in that 2017 World Cup, also scored that crucial 15, that final. So, are there any early signs of that? You also saw that thing, going that okay, in future this player can be the next captain or something.
Well, look, Nat's a very calm person. She's a very caring individual. She'll lead different to Heather. Heather was would be a bit more up front and a bit more in your face and a bit more aggressive in what she did. Again, equally caring. Nat would be ultra calm, and she'll let the players do a lot more of the talking. She isn't as natural with the media as what Heather is. They're just different. Heather was, for me, outstanding when my time as a leader. And Nat will just take a little bit of time to find her own identity. What she is, I think, one of the best players in the world. I think there's few that can match her for her batting powers. Her fielding's declined slightly due to some of the issues she's had physically, but she's still a very, very good fielder and a more than handy bowler. So for me, England have got not only what hopefully be a good captain, they've got one of the best players in the world, and that will carry them in a good stead.
Yes, and her bowling will be crucial, sir, in the World Cup also, considering.
But it needs to be. I think how they're looking to balance the team. She can swing it. She's opened the bowling in World Cups previously for England in the T20 World Cup in the West Indies. We went in with seamer less and went heavy spin, and she opened the bowling, did well. She can swing it. It's just her body. Her body's had a few issues over the last couple of years, and they could do for her to be fit because it allows them to, as I say, to have another seamer in the team and maybe play that sixth bowler, which all teams are desperate to do. Every team wants all-rounders. I think India are starting to get some all-rounders, which is giving them more depth in their department, which makes them a better team. South Africa haven't really found that yet. So
Mm.
everybody's desperate for all-rounders because it makes that tail longer and the less vulnerable to those collapses that we all dread.
Yes, absolutely. And sir, Heather Knight is also there in the team, former captain and still a very important member of the squad, because when you see the middle order batting, I think her experience will be very crucial in this World Cup.
Yeah, look, Nat and Heather, Tammy, the World Cup winners. They've been there. They've seen everything. They know what it's like to fail, but they know what it's like to win, and they know what it needs to win, and they'll be relying on all those three. Heather is an outstanding individual. She led England very, very well for a number of years, and she'll be desperate to get more silverware, to taste that champagne that they tasted at Lord's that day in 2017. So she'll be desperate for that, and she'll be wanting to help Nat in all she can, but she'll be there first and foremost to score runs. She's had some time out, which will probably do her some good actually with a hamstring injury. But she'll be ready to go, and as I say, be a blessing for England to have her back.
Yes. And as you mentioned earlier, sir, that the confidence thing, that the team needs to be, confident enough going forward to the World Cup. Because if you see in 2025, in this year, as of now, 9 ODIs played. They lost 3 against Australia. Now against India also in the home, they lost. Against West Indies, they performed brilliantly and won 3-0. So how do you see, Charlotte Edwards so far? I know that Ashes series is not under her, but this ODI series against West Indies and India, how do you see that? How things have gone so far?
Well, it's slow progress. What Charlotte, as a head coach, will be doing, she'll be getting to know her players. I remember when I took over, we went to South Africa, and I learned a lot about the players. But then we went to a World Cup in India, and I learned even more. And we decided we had to make some changes to get the success that we got further down the line. And Charlotte would be the same. She'd be still finding out about her players. She'd have found out a lot this summer. But as I say, a lot of it will be trying to rebuild the confidence that has took a bit of a battering. They've had a difficult summer. They haven't been perfect. They've continued to drop catches and not field to the level of want, which is again a sign of that fragility in the field. But as I say, Charlotte's job will be to give clarity. I think that's the first thing. Try and give clarity to players. You try and give calmness. You try and give players strategies to help cope with pressure, especially when things go wrong. And that'll be what her and the staff will be trying to do. As I said before, they'll be trying to get some momentum in this tournament, hopefully get some good wins under field well, and really build the momentum that will take them through, which they're going to need in that semi-final final when they get there.
Yes. And as the World Cup is in subcontinent conditions, so do you prefer that the team would have been more, good space if there is a series in subcontinent conditions against any team, like Australia playing in India or like South Africa playing in Pakistan right now? So do you think that could have helped a bit more?
Yeah, I think it helps. It's not essential. I think the most important thing from a head coach point of view, I just want my team together. I want some space and some time to work with them. I want some competitive games where we can iron out and find things. As I say, I think nobody really knows what conditions they're going to get. You can tell me it might be a little bit cooler than it would be after Christmas because it's early summer. And also the wickets might just do a little bit more again because it's early season. And as I say, I've been Sri Lanka and India where we've had the best batting wickets ever. And also I've been to both countries where it has turned and it's been a bit more turgid. So I think you have to go very much open-minded. That's one thing I've learned about the subcontinent. You go open-minded and you go with a squad that can cater and adapt to the conditions. It is the heat will be the biggest part sometimes. But a lot of these players now experienced and played in India over the years. So often it's which team hits the ground running and which team adapts the quickest will have most success.
Yes. And since Charlotte Edwards came into the system, I think one player has come out, I think A. Marlott. I think she brings that, perfect balance to the squad with her all-round brilliance. How do you see her performing in the World Cup?
Oh, look, Emma, a lot of us have been aware of Emma for quite a long time. And the previous coach, John Lewis, tried to bring her in as well, but she wasn't quite ready. And Charlotte's managed to get her in, and she's managed to make her comfortable in the environment. And she's an outstanding cricketer. She can bat. There's more to give with her batting, so she'll give that depth to the order. She's got good slower balls. She can bowl at the death. She can bowl in the middle. She can bowl up front, and she's a good fielder as well. So she's not young. She's I think she's 27. Emma is a good cricketer, as I say. She's been around for a little bit. She's a bit more mature as well. She's not totally new. So I'm expecting her and hoping that she'll have a great World Cup.
Yes, absolutely. Now, sir, I have a question regarding that 2017 World Cup. Just just a memory how the things went up, because in the final I think India were in a strong position at one point. Then the collapse happened. Anya Shukshal took those 6 wickets. Tammy Bowman played of the tournament. So what was the situation in the dressing room in that moment? Any particular moment that you can share with us?
Well, look, first of all, what an occasion! It was a watershed moment for women's sport at that point, wasn't it? To sell out Lords. And I think we had the perfect final, having India there, without any offence to Australia, because we had all the patriotism that you get from an Indian crowd who came to support their team, to go with all the English, and we had the TV viewing all around the world. So sell out Lords was outstanding. India had come on the back of just hammering Australia with Cord, but that brilliant innings. India had already beaten us in the group stage, the only game that we lost in the group. We beat Australia in the group, but we lost to India. So we knew we were in for a tough game. Cord done her heroics. And I think India batted and on a wicket that was good to bat on first, because it got slow and slow. It had been used before. We batted first, didn't we? Which was a good toss for us to win, because the wicket got slower and slower as it went on. But India batted really well, and the young opener who played outstandingly well, she did as good around. She got 80. She got 80 in the group game as well, and they got them into a position where you don't really want to lose. But it was a funny one watching. I always felt we were okay. The only moment of doubt I got was when Anya Shubsal came back and Rao hit her for, I think, consecutive fours, and that's when the only time I had a bit of doubt actually that this is a bit more not looking so good. But Anya got her out in that over, and for me it just felt inevitable. Although the equation wasn't big in terms of runs per wicket, the conditions were easy, and I just felt we were always creating half chances, although they weren't going to hand. So yeah, looking back, when I was in there, I felt quite confident for the reason I've just said. And when I watched the highlights looking back, I can't help but thinking, how on earth did we win that game? So it was interesting that the feelings you get watching without any emotion was different to what I felt at the time, where I just felt watching. As I say, we were creating so many opportunities that one was going to go to hand, and if we got a window to create some pressure on the Indian team, we could do that and hopefully win the game.
Yes. But sir, for Indian women's cricket, I think despite not winning that World Cup, playing that final, I think from that point of view, I think if you see, I think Indian women's cricket have gone, on a better position. I am saying, till now. How do you see, Indian cricketer in a progressive mode in 2025, standing in 2025, and in home condition, home World Cup? How do you see one of the favorites to win the World Cup?
Well, look, first of all, Indian cricket, they've got a bit more structure now. They've got their own women's IPL, which is outstanding. Every time we went there, and I went as a head coach, we just see all these net bowlers, and I'd want to take about 10 of them home with me, because they had so many good cricketers, and this was back in 2019-18. So India's always had this depth of talent, and it's a big country with this great passion. And it's a brilliant place to travel. It's my favourite place. I love going when I went to Mumbai and Delhi and all the rest of India as well. So we knew the talent was there, but having a bit more structure, a bit more depth to the talent pool, which gets a bit more help, and you're beginning to get the rewards now. And you can see them getting better year in, year out. I think the bowling's vulnerable, if I'm honest. I think what you've now developed is a lot more depth in the batting, and you've got some all-rounders, which definitely helps. But I think the bowling's vulnerable. I think the bowling's average. They've got some okay spinners. I think DP Sharma's obviously outstanding, and the rest of the spinners are potentially good. But I think there's some vulnerability on the bowling department. But they are just going in the right direction, and they could upset anybody because of what they've got in the batting team. They're led well, and they're going to be supported by some amazing crowds, is what you get in India. And that would be the other challenge for the Indian girls, how they cope with that. We did a lot of work because it was a home World Cup that we won. We did a lot of work with the team in how they were going to react to the pressure. We did a lot of work before we got to that tournament about how we were going to support the girls and keep pressure off them and keep some of the noise out to allow them to make sure they could prosper in that environment, not actually feel the pressure of the need to win for millions and millions of people watching. But as I say, the Indian team, I love how they're going. I think there's a little bit of work to do on their bowling, but they're batting and they're getting all-rounders now, so they're an exciting team to watch.
Yes, absolutely. And as you rightly mentioned, that the spin will be key in this World Cup, especially matches are being in subcontinent. So are you happy with the spin unit of England? Because there are variations like Sarah Glenn, Charlie Dean is there, Sophia Kirsten is there. Are you happy with the spin unit? Lindsay Smith also.
Yeah, look, you get two types of spin in the women's game. You get what we would call old-fashioned spinners who actually spin the ball and make it move sideways, and we get slow bowlers who don't actually spin the ball. But they're tricky because they've got flight and guile and they've got control. I think England's got the best spinner. Well, England have got the best finger spinner in the world in Sophie Ecclestone. India, arguably, have got the best spinning all-rounder in the world in DP Sharma. Maybe Ash Gardner might want to challenge her for that, but they would be up there. And then I think the other Indian spinners are developing. They had a young left armer, didn't they, who came on to...
Charani.
She looked like she might have struggled in the field a bit, which might need a bit of work there, but she looked promising. Yadav's always been around. So I think the Indian spinners can do a job led by DP, but England's got a lot of bases covered. England will put a lot of store on their spinners. What they miss is a big leg spinner who can actually turn the ball and fizz out a batsman, like Wellington for Australia and King for Australia. Wareham's a bit different because she bowls more straight on balls, isn't it? More skid, hit the pads. Sarah Glenn's that type. And I think England just like that big leg spin bowler who can rip a ball. New Zealand have got one with Amelia Kerr, haven't they? So I think India probably haven't got that leg spinner now themselves. That match went in one. But to say, what India have got now is depth in their order. We used to always think we could get India 5 down and 6 down and you were through them. But it's now the case.
Yes, absolutely. And sir, you also had a stint with Bangladesh cricket women's team also. You also had a stint, but they have qualified for the World Cup, were brilliant in the qualifiers along with Pakistan. But can you tell me one reason, like over the years, I think Bangladesh have come up with some brilliant results here and there, but the lack of consistency is clear, like every year. So can you come up with a explanation about that thing, that where they are struggling to be that consistent with the likes of Australia, England, India, or maybe New Zealand?
I think sometimes it's an unfair comparison. So England, India, and Australia have got all the money, and they've invested, and brilliant. The boards have done it brilliantly. They've invested in their teams and in their infrastructure. And this is what the Indian board have done in the last few years. And you can see what's happening to that team. It's getting better and better. So the danger for women's cricket is that England, Australia and India will just get stronger and stronger and the other will get weaker. And that is a vulnerability. So Bangladesh haven't got the resources. So you have to give them that defence. What they have done, they've got some tenacious cricketers and some clever cricketers as well, and some spinners. But they're probably at the moment like that depth. And a couple of batters with the height and the power to actually start to trouble the better teams on a consistent basis. So I think it's the investment that they need to create a bigger and deeper talent pool, and then Bangladesh won't be far away.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, last question, sir. Your top 4 predictions. Tricky one.
Well, look, England should be there. A minimum requirement for England should be the semi-final at least, but to a final. So you'd have to say England's going to get there. Australia have to be favourites. I'm not quite sure their bowling's maybe just dropped a little bit, but the fascinating one is India. I think for India, if they can make the crowd work for them, I think they could grow and get into some brilliant momentum. If they have a tricky start and then they feel the pressure of the occasion of the home team, they might actually struggle. So I'm going to get off the fence and give my prediction. I think it will be an England-India final.
England-India final.
A
Lovely.
repeat of the 2-17. Yeah.
Yes, but hopefully this time a different result. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely to chat with you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yeah, and hopefully now you guys just let us know how you guys enjoyed the show. And thank you so much. Let's meet in the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.